I've had a hard time making this video. I usually have a pretty clear opinion on games when I play them, but Doom the Dark Ages came out 2 months ago, and I've struggled trying to express how I feel about it. Is it bad? No. Is it good? Yeah. Then why am I having such a hard time figuring out my opinion of it? To be honest, I'm not totally sure. So I'm going to clumsily make my way through this video and see if we get to the end with anything that resembles an opinion. Okay? Cool. Here we go. Doom 2016. Incredible. Doom Eternal. Epic beyond words. Doom the Dark Ages. Extremely awesome, I think? What is it about the first two where I can instantly say they are amazing? Why do I hesitate with the Dark Ages? Is it the setting change? Is it the emphasis on parrying over agility? I don't think it is. I think there was a certain magic in those first two. I think there was timing, there was hype, there was a certain musician. I think it all came together in an epic way that is simply lacking in the Dark Ages. I love dark fantasy, so when I heard that this newest iteration of Doom was going to go back to where it started, I was sold. Even when I played it, there are truly amazing moments. Epic scale. Totally metal and gnarly things that you can only find in the Doom universe. But none of it hit as hard as in the other Doom games. I have an idea on why that is. Doom 2016 came out after a very long hiatus from the franchise. And the last installment before that was one that was kind of controversial. You either hated it or loved it. I actually enjoyed Doom 3. I love horror stuff, and they leaned into it. Not to mention that the graphics at that time were insane. But admittedly, it was a bit of a departure. It didn't feel very doomy. So, when Doom 2016 came out, people were hyped. It got back to its roots. It felt like the original, the same corridor shooter with tons of secrets, insane demons to slay, and gruesome environments to explore. I remember the first time you go to hell in that game was some of the most epic experiences I've had in an FPS. It literally looked like a metal album cover came to life. Then finding the masterfully written journals narrated by that insidious Satan voice. I mean, this is the shit we live for as Doom fans. Then we get a proper, not eternally waited for, pun intended, sequel a few years later. Every single thing about Eternal is amped up, increased, multiplied, expanded on, and glorified. Get it? Glory kills? In the way you only dream sequels will do. You'd be hard-pressed to find a first-person shooter better than Doom Eternal. And really, I'm not sure there is. That game also came out during very unique circumstances that will probably never be duplicated. It came out in March 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic. Everyone was inside, bored out of their minds, and in need of taking out some stress on polygonal demons. So now we have Doom the Dark Ages. Realistically, the first time a threequel has come out for Doom within the same timeline as the first two it's following up, because Doom 3 came out way after the first two. So, we've got less of a wait, we already know what we're getting because we recently played 2 other modern versions of the game, and there's no pandemic to add layers to the situation. Not to mention it came out during a time of this year when I swear there were 5 new super hyped games coming out every week. It was bound to lose a bit of steam in the middle of all that. Even so, I was very excited to dive into this game. It instantly has a different vibe than all the others before it. Though the other Dooms are dark, the Dark Ages is, indeed, darker visually. The color palette leans into the drab tones of medieval times, and I actually don't mind. If you're going for a different era and setting, it should look and feel different. The story is actually pretty cool, even if not anything spectacularly original. But it is intriguing to see a more traditional story format in the Doom universe with a beginning, middle, and end. It's also cool to see how the Doomslayers started, captive to the angels of this universe and forced to do their less than holy bidding. I thought the main villain was villainy enough, but nothing too standout. One thing did stand out to me, however. The lack of Mick Gordon's music. I won't go down the road of controversy here, but I have to at least say this. I didn't realize until his absence how much Mick Gordon's music is synonymous with Doom as a whole. Sure, The Dark Ages has metal music, but it certainly lacks what makes Doom's soundtrack so special. Somehow Mick can combine his abrasive sound waves with Doom's gameplay to elevate it to the satanic levels it needs to be at. His music doesn't only set the mood, it is an aid that helps you play better because it's always driving you forward with its hellfire-fueled rhythms. So when I was doing my laps around the arenas in Doom the Dark Ages, it just didn't feel right. I really missed that music and was forced to realize how integral it was and is to this franchise. The other big change besides the music is the flow of combat. Instead of constant frenetic movement like in Eternal, it's a lot more of standing your ground and parrying this time out. Don't get me wrong, there's a new flow you can sink into once you learn the mechanics. There's still plenty of fast movement if you do it right, but it's definitely not as fast and constant as Eternal. Doom Eternal could literally be exhausting during some of its fights, a stress test to the extreme of your traversal and shooting skills. I never felt that with Doom the Dark Ages. I had some moments that were difficult. I died quite a few times, but aside from one area that was completely unbalanced, I think due to an update that happened to me mid-playthrough, I never struggled. I didn't have one of those moments where I was hooting and hollering, where I was literally sweating at the end of an arena because of how intense it was. There are things I loved about the Dark Ages. I mean, the Super Shotty is unbeatable in the pantheon of shooter weapons. That thing kicks ass no matter how you wield it. The shield is actually a pretty sick addition too. I'm also a huge fan of Lovecraftian horror, so when I walked into the Cosmic Realm and saw a giant Cthulhu, I was geeked AF. I thought the dragon was actually pretty cool too, and that the flying segments didn't overstay their welcome. The Atlan sections were only slightly above an Unreal shooter, but I didn't find them egregious or completely out of place like some people did. The visuals are awesome, as they always are with id, and the gameplay is smooth and satisfying. I always have fun finding the secrets. The puzzles are presented in a way that isn't frustrating, but also doesn't hand you a solution with a giant neon light. So yeah, I did have fun playing this game. But after contemplating all this, I think I get it. Doom the Dark Ages had a lot to live up to. The previous two games were both such monumental improvements, not only to the franchise, but to the shooter genre as a whole, that it's an almost impossible task to top those two games. If Doom Eternal was FPS Nirvana, then I'm not sure it was fair to have to live up to that. Doom the Dark Ages is great. It's definitely worth playing as a Doom fan, an avid shooter player, or just someone who likes good games. But it didn't leave me in awe like the previous entries did.
Come on. Damn it.